Focus on the color to simplify things. Our work uses iSpring Suite. I'll get the next screen, the title, then another screen. It offers screens like the main or lesson distribution screen. I chose the main screen and it was added. I'll change an image to fit the computer. Delete, then insert images. I'll start with the title screen. Then I'll get a screen. It provides other screens like the main screen or the lesson distribution screen. I clicked on the main screen and you can choose this one. I clicked and the screen was added. Now I'll show you creativity. First, let me enter a bit here. I'll show you changing this image to fit the computer. Press delete, then go to insert and images. I don't want to waste your time. This topic is about anything that fits the computer. For example, I can put an image if we chose one. I can resize this image, make it bigger or smaller as needed. I'm trying to find a suitable portrait image. I don't have many ready, so I'll grab something showing a computer. No, my dear, you have images. I added the screen right away, and now I'll show you the creativity. First, let's enter a bit here. We need to change this image to fit the computer. Press delete, then go to insert and images. This topic is about anything that fits with the computer. For example, I can put an image. Let's say we chose an image, like a picture of an ayah. I can resize this image however I want, making it bigger or smaller. I'm trying to find a suitable portrait image, but I don't have many ready. I'll grab something that shows a computer. You have images, anything that shows the computer. This image is a bit large, so I can expand it. The important thing is to place something that fits with your computer and materials. Here's an image of an ayah. I can resize this image as I wish, making it smaller or larger. I don't have many images ready, so I'll grab something showing a computer. Anything showing the computer like this. This image is large, so I can expand it. You can place something fitting your computer and materials, insert an image fitting, like a room. I found something representing the computer. Now, I'm naming this the topics list. Name it in Arabic as the main menu. Leave it, or name it Qaimat al-Mawdu'at. Anything that shows the computer, for example, like this. But of course, this is a bit of a big picture, so you can enlarge it a bit. The important thing is that you can put the thing that suits your computer and your things. Insert an image to find something representing a room. I'm naming this the topics list. In Arabic, call it the main menu or Qaimat al-Mawdu'at. PowerPoint makes work easy. Position it on the right or left. Work is on iSpring Suite. Now change the topics like the first lesson's name. The first lesson is about computer hardware components. The second lesson is about software components. The topics. And of course, guys, I told you that PowerPoint is where the work is really easy. The important thing is to bring it to the right side or the left side. All the work will be on this, on iSpring Suite. Now, for example, I'm coming here to change the topics like the name of the first lesson. Of course, this is the first unit, so I understand that I'm gathering the lessons. So I'll say, for example, the first lesson. The first lesson talks about the hardware components of the computer. The components should be in Arabic as you prefer. There are 7 hardware components as you like. Here's the second lesson, which is about the software components. I won't take too long with you. It's about the software components. And here I will write, for example, the third lesson talks about computer viruses. The third lesson talks about computer viruses. I won't take long discussing the computer's efficiency. I'll show you the setup. I created this value, Dr. Sami. Publishing it will start designing everything for you, allowing you to branch out to the next value. It designs everything for you, and you can branch out to the list. Regarding branching, I'll teach and show you how. Here's a collection. There are better secrets than this work. In the insert menu, there's something amazing I recommend. I'll explain everything. I'll bring another value, like the objectives value. It starts. I'll teach you about branching. In the insert menu, there's something amazing. Recommend. Here, of course, is the topic of branching. I will teach you everything and show you how to branch out. And of course, here is a collection. I just want to show you that there are better secrets than this work. In the insert menu, there's something amazing that I recommend to you, but I want to explain everything to you. All right, I'll bring another value. And if it's, for example, the objectives value. The objectives of the first lesson, for example, we go to the first lesson. Of course, for example, the lesson. We go to the content. So, of course, it brings you the lessons. So before you enter the lesson, you always have the objectives screen, the objectives of the lesson. And before the lesson objectives screen, you will have the name of the lesson. All right, let's go straight. To get the lesson objectives screen, so I don't waste your time with these methods. For example, the first lesson talks about the hardware components. So I'll come here and say the objectives of the first lesson, or just the lesson objectives, specifically about the hardware components. The hardware, now focus on the positives. Of course, in this lesson, you can move the main menu to the right, and you can adjust the right and left sides as you know. The important thing is that after studying this lesson, the student should be able to identify the hardware components of the computer. Here, for example, he will differentiate between the hardware components of the computer in detail, explain their functions and their interactions, and provide examples of how each component works in real-world applications. For example, he lists the units. Input in with the computer. Here, he differentiates between input and output units. I don't want to waste your time. I'm just saying that's enough for now. These are a set of objectives. This is the first lesson. Click here to proceed. If you do, I'll say, good job, learning is great. Right-click to transition between screens in PowerPoint using hyperlinks. The topic is, if you right-click on the button, we have covered a topic out before about transitions. You transition from one place to another. If you click on transitions, you have insert options, design options, transitions, and animations. If you want to move from this screen to that screen, in PowerPoint, we would right-click and find a hyperlink. In the hyperlink, you specify where you want to go, like to a place in the document or to a file that exists. You have a place in this document, so you want to tell it, I want to go to the next slide. You have transitions and animations, for instance. If you want to move from this screen to that screen, in basic PowerPoint, we would right-click and find a hyperlink. Then, in the hyperlink, you specify where you want to go, like to a place in the document or to a file. You have a place in the document, so you want to tell it, I want to go to the next slide. Clicking this button takes you to the next slide. If set up correctly, clicking next slide will take you there. Alternatively, hover over the button to turn it into a hyperlink. A hyperlink, you tell it where you want to go, like a document place or a place in this document. Tell it, I want to go to the next slide. Click this button to go to the next slide. Yes, that's fine. Now, if set up right, clicking next slide will take you there. Hover to make it a hyperlink. You can right-click and select hyperlink, and you have a beautiful slide here. So I'm telling him that I want, when I click on this button, I go to the next slide. He tells you that the next slide is this one, and I say, yes, that's fine. So now this button, if you set it up correctly, when you click on the word next slide, it will take you there. Or there's another way, you can hover over the button itself and it will turn into a hyperlink. So at this point, you right-click to the menu options and select hyperlink. And here, for example, you can say, well, you have a beautiful slide here. You can choose the option that says to create a link to another slide or document, which can be very useful in presentations, especially when you want to provide additional information or resources. The next slide . So you have turned the title itself into a button like this. When you click on it, it takes you to the next slide. This is, of course, to give you the link that when I click here, it will take me to the lesson objectives. Okay, someone might ask me, Dr. Semi, do you want us to understand? You can create several lessons in the unit. I can start from here. Click here to go to the hardware components. Click here to go to the software components. Click here to go to the lesson on computer viruses, and so on. All right.